All right, here's a quick video on this coordinate graphing stuff. And the object of this page here is just to continue to work and practice on your coordinate graphing. Down below, you'll see coordinates right here, like for example 4, 6. We need to go to that point 4, 6, find that letter, and then put that letter there. And what you should do is you should see a response on here, and that response, quite honestly, is tied to that top question, which is, why is a mother kangaroo unhappy when it rains? So, all right, but in order to do that, let's talk a little bit about this coordinate graphing. In elementary school, you guys did coordinate graphing, and it looked a lot like this, where you would work in what we call quadrant 1. That's the upper right-hand quadrant. They use a Roman numeral called quadrant 1, and it would use positive x values, and it would use positive y values here, okay? And every coordinate, for example, like this t here, needs to have two numbers. We put parentheses around it with a comma in between the two numbers, and those two numbers are just like you would think the alphabet. It's x and y, right? So the alphabet goes x to y, so we need to put the x number first, then the y number second. So if I think about this as a movement, I always start down there in the lower left by the red, and then I need to move there. Well, let's do that x movement first, right, which is this movement here. So I need to move over 1. So when I move over 1, I put a 1 here. Then I need to move up. And so then when I move up, how many did I move up to get up there? 7. So this is 1 comma 7. Not 7 comma 1. 7 comma 1, just so that we're aware, would be over here, right? Because we moved 7 spaces and then we went up 1. So notice the difference between 1, 7 and 7, 1. So that's what we call quadrant 1. And it's all positive numbers for both x and for y. So let me introduce this little part. The upper part here, I can't really block, I guess, the bottom part too much. But everything about this is the same, and we now have quadrant 1, and we're going to introduce quadrant 2. So this quadrant, which is quad, it means 4, broken up into 4 pieces. So the upper right-hand corner is called quadrant 1. The Roman numeral for quadrant 2 is listed right there. Now the only thing that's added when we do quadrant 2 is we now have these negative x values, right? Negative x values. Otherwise, the process is the same. So if I choose something like p, for example, I again need to have my x values and then my y values. So I went back 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was back 4. So I would write a negative 4 because I had to go backwards or to the left 4. And then I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was up a positive 4. So I would write negative 4, 4. Okay. Then we introduce these two down here. 2 quadrants down here in the bottom. This one is called quadrant 3, and this one is called quadrant 4. So it goes what we call counterclockwise, against the direction of a clock. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if I just do 1 point here, let's do S. This one is going to be back how many? 8. So we'd write negative 8, and then it has to go down 2. So I would write negative 2. So now all the y values that are down below that line are negative. Okay. Then over here we have, let's just try one more. Let's do this E here. That's a positive 6 because we move 6 units to this direction. Then we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be 6, negative 5. Now what I did is in quadrant 4, notice it is a positive number, then a negative number. Up here in quadrant 1, I didn't list it, but it is a positive number. Over here in quadrant 2, oh man, I thought I had those all listed. Apparently I don't. This one is a negative positive number. And down here will be only negative, comma, negative type numbers. Okay. So that is a quick rundown of the graphing. Now there are a couple of very special cases, like for example, H, S, and, oh, that's it, H and S right here, right in the middle. And when I don't move to the left or right, and then I just go up like here, right, since I didn't move to the left or right, I would put a 0 there, and then I would say 4. 0, 4 means you start right here in that middle by the red dot, and you move up 4 spots. Let's go down here though, like T. T would be 0, comma, negative 6. Now, let's try some of these now on this line, right, like Y. Well, the first thing we do is we go backwards, right? We go backwards to Y, negative 7 spots. I don't move up, I don't move down, so I write 0, negative 7, 0. And then let's try A here, right there in the middle. I move over 3 spots, so I would write a positive 3. I don't move up, I don't move down, so I write a 0. Okay? There, we pretty much went over that whole thing. So now if I go to look what 4, 6 is, right, down here, I'm going to go over 4, and I'm going to go up 6. And my answer is O. And we're going to keep moving ourselves along. Everything here to keep adding these letters. 7, 2. We go out 7, up 2. That looks like an N right here, right? Negative 6, up 3. That looks like a T, okay? And I'm just going to let you finish. There are 2 special cases here. There's a PDF I couldn't edit. For some reason, there's no point here. We'll call that D. And this one, I'm just going to have you list that as letter A. So I'm not even going to tell you what those letters are. This negative is for that there. So I hope that helps out with this graphing. Let me know if you have any other questions. Have a good night.